All right, everyone, it is finally time. We are doing the 2022 Lego Room Tour. So let's get after it. All right, everyone, we are walking down the steps. First thing you'll notice, we have a visitor today. Everyone meet Arlo. My wife and I have had him for over 2 years now, since he was a pup. He's not part of the room, he's just hanging out today. But as you walk down, first thing you'll see is the Cleveland Indians clubhouse, obviously RIP Indians. They're now the Guardians. If you notice you'll notice in this room, it is not just a Lego room, it's just a general hangout spot where we watch movies, play games, support fandom of all the Cleveland sports teams as well. And also University of Kentucky basketball and Ohio State football. You'll see a lot of that as well. So as you come down to the room, we'll do a quick little panoramic view here. Kind of see it in its entirety. So when we bought this house, this was a big deal to have this basement just so we can have a place to hang out. So we're going to start on the left and kind of work clockwise. So as you see on the left, we have a treadmill, nothing basic there. We work out, we have a little bit more of a gym room in the back there, but it's kind of a mess, so we're not gonna go in there. So there's the treadmill. As you come across, you'll notice we have some movie posters up on the wall. These two, of course, were ones my wife picked out. She picked out Moana and Monsters University. Of course, any of the Monsters, Inc. movies would have sufficed. Both of them are excellent. And we come across, this is the main entertainment unit setup. So on each side we have some shelves. This one, we have some Cleveland sports memorabilia, followed by some video games, a lot of PS4, some PS5 games, including Lego Star Wars, Call of Duty, Jedi Fallen Order, and Assassin's Creed. Then we come down and we have Sons of Anarchy, the complete series, my all-time favorite TV shows. You haven't seen it, you need to. Then a bunch of old DVDs, some holiday movies as well. And then you'll come across to the first Lego set, which is one my wife built, which is Lego Ideas Central Perk from the iconic TV show Friends, which my wife and I love dearly. I know they came out with the apartments set. I think it's just too big and sprawled out. I like this one a lot more. It's more displayable, it's more fun. I like this. Then we go down, we have some mini helmets. The gaming systems, got the PS4, PlayStation Classic, PS5, check it. That is a Indians hat from 2016 with Kenny Lofton's signature on it. And of course over here we have Grogu. Picked him up in Disney World the last visit. And then another iconic Lego movie vehicle, which is the James Bond Aston Martin. So that is a very cool from the creator line. Cleveland Guardians baseball from their playoff series run recently. Then we come up, we have more movies over here, sports memorabilia, Brown stuff, a memento from when I was in Edinburgh, a bunch of Cleveland sports, and my alma mater, Mount Union. Shot glasses there. Then we get into a bunch of movies. Do a nice slow view. I'm a big movie fan, so I try to have a decent collection. A little Jurassic Park. Indiana Jones, as you'll notice, that has the Brickmania corresponding set. I actually really like these. I love the minifigs on them. And then, of course, the truck. And you'll see there's a bunch of different movies. I kind of have them broken up by category. Up here we mainly have TV shows and series, followed by comedies and animated, westerns and kind of some westerns, some period pieces, and some sports ones. Down here are like a lot of my military epics, regular old dramas, Star Wars. And you'll notice another Jurassic Park set, so I absolutely love it. Probably one of the best Jurassic Park sets, one of the best sets of the year, I think. And then we have Buzz and Woody and Bo Peep. And we have the Star Wars movies, Jurassic Park, DC, this epic Lord of the Rings and the Hobbits collector series, 4K extended edition that came out last year. All the Marvel movies, Transformers, Yellowstone, because I just got that. A lot of books. These are some extra books I have down here. And the last little column of movies are movies I own that I have brand new that I have not watched. I've seen a lot of them, but these are ones I have not watched since owning them. And then we'll move up. We have this little cabinet here for my wife and I from our trips to Disney. Just some of the pins from places we've stayed, rides, of course, Star Wars for me, and just some of our favorite things. And then as we move right, we have more movie posters, including Avengers, Infinity War, Star Wars Episode 4, New Hope, though my favorite one is Episode 5. I like the Episode 4 poster a lot more. And of course, The Mandalorian with Din Djarin and Grogu. Very cool here. And then we got the couch with the dog. A couple really nice blankets, chair, coffee table. I'm gonna come around for a back view here. As you can see, this is where we come down, we watch sports, we have friends over, we hang out, we play games. It's just a lot of fun. You kind of see that nice central setup. So that's kind of like the first half of the Lego room. It is more open for everyone, a place to hang out, place to game, place to relax. Well, my wife would say I never relax from watching sports, but that's okay. As you can see, peek down there, we have Scrabble. And then if I have the TV on, I like to build. I have this table here. This is where you see me, do a lot of the reviews. I usually move it over there in the corner. This is an old coffee table I forget my wife and I had at our first apartment that I've kind of repurposed. This is an old office chair. This is just a recent build, which is the Lion Knight's Castle. I'll take a second to talk about it. Probably, maybe the #1 set of the year. I don't know. I plan on getting the UCS Razor Crest, so that might be a tie between these two. But this was pretty epic build, a lot of fun, just a lot of creativity and a lot of thought went into this. A great assortment of minifigs, just some great prints. I absolutely love the prints on some of these and the storytelling you can do. As you can see, I kind of have it right now set up where the knights, Black Falcons, are coming to meet the Queen. And just the thought from everything from how the gate, the portcullis works, to the defenses, to the living quarters, to how every room kind of connects, to the watchtower with the bell, the flag prints. Everything in this build is just pretty epic. Just even how the back, let's see if I can do this one-handed, just opens up. You can display a dollhouse, you can see all the rooms, and people are like, well, the rooms are so small. And they have it open, and I'm like, yeah, that's the point. Because this room corresponds with this room, so when you do that, it's actually pretty big. So I absolutely love this set. Love some of the hidden features with the Forestmen in it. Just cool. Anyway, one of the best sets of the year. As you've seen before, I do have this like building mat. So this is like a cutting mat I got from an art store. I like the bright white. You can also reverse it. Use the gray. Use the white, just because. And then a nice blank slate, and I think finally what everyone has been watching this video for, which is the Lego display. So, just full disclosure, my wife has said I cannot expand anymore, but we'll see as we go forward. As you can see, there's a lot of space. Though she probably won't let me, but hey, you never know. So this is all the hardware you see is from Menards. That includes the uprights, the brackets, the screws, and the shelving. The shelving that we cut to length and then painted the edge kind of a gray color to match the edges. I like the gray color. Ultimately, it definitely fits with the room. If I could do it all over, I probably painted the room white and done white shelves just so it would pop. But I think as I get more and more lighting, it'll definitely appear brighter and look better. And as you can see, I do have this section, which is where we'll start, lit, except for you'll notice there's two different lights on it, and that's because I bought these little puck lights that are wired and then run down the uprights and then plug in. I just didn't have enough of those to connect, and the wires weren't quite long enough, so I had to go with these battery powered ones, and they work okay. They get the job done for sure. But anyway, we're going to start up top here. In the very top show, you'll see some rotorcraft. We have two Cobras, the Zulu Viper, the F model known as the Sand Shark from the Gulf War. Then we have an OH-58 Kyle Warrior, and then a Sioux MASH helicopter from the Korean War. So some rotorcraft, very cool. And then we come down, and now we have some more modern wheeled vehicles. We have all these Humvees. So we have an ambulance the ambulance, the Marine Corps with the remote turret, the special operations, special operations one with all the bristling with brick arms all throughout. The new Hawkeye with a 105 howitzer on the back, a more basic Desert Storm model, a flyer, and then a striker. So all very, very cool. And I'm excited for their new line they have coming out with the Humvees. The next level, we start getting into some tanks. So I have to do some rearranging on these shelves. You notice these two are wider, these two are more narrow. On this shelf, the antennas don't fit. This one they do, so eventually I do have to lower some and consolidate them a little bit. But on this guy here, we have some more Cold War era with the T-64A. I think that's the PT-76 was the amphibious tank. The M50 Isherman, which I did a review on. Very cool tank there by Nate. My first tank ever, which is the AMX-13, which is a very cool Israeli tank. Then I have some Israeli Six-Day War era Figs, utility truck, a version of the Mutt basically, or Jeep. And then I have my light American infantry here, which we have the M2A4 Stuart, M3 Stuart, and M24 Chaffee. That's the, of course, I've talked about some of these as well on the channel. I really like these. Then we come with my shelf of American armor, and we'll go from left to right. M18 Hellcat, very cool. Hopefully they'll do a upgraded version with some of their new printing. This is the older Army Builder Sherman with the oddball add-on pack from the movie. Then we have the M4 Sherman. That was kind of a combination of Sergeant Nate's new design as well Cody Osso's older design, and you'll see that comes with a Patton figure with Willie as well. Then we got just a good old American utility truck. Very good price on that one, just a good one to have in the collection. And then here is the M2A4 First in Bastogne, or not M2A4, excuse me, M4A3E2 Jumbo. Getting all my numbers mixed up here. So this is a assault tank. It has the same gun as earlier Sherman's, but thicker frontal armor and armor on the mantlet. So it can take, it's more designed for assault. And it comes with a great figure. It does come with a lot of stickers on this one. And that's an older sticker pattern I did with a nice clone face on it. And then one of the most iconic tanks that Brickmania has ever done, that is a older M4A3 EZ8 Sherman with the Fury add-on pack, which we've talked about on the channel before. Then we have the M51 Super Sherman. Ooh, these guys go over here. There we go. Now I have the machine right where it needs to be. So the M51 Super Sherman, very similar in design to the older EZ8. The new EZ8, which I absolutely adore, I think it's a great design. Probably one of my favorites that Sergeant Nate has done for sure. Sticker looks epic, pretty easy to put on that tank. Then we have the older M26 Pershing, probably one of my least favorite tanks in the collection. I just don't like how this one was designed. That 3D printed barrel does not stay on. The tracks do not move, so I'm very excited to see the update. It does have a great figure with that simulated texturing on the cigar. Very cool. And then an M48, I think this is an A3 Patton tank, Vietnam era. Very basic fig with just kind of that Brick Arms vest and Brick Arms helmet. Does have the function where the turret rotates from an axle pin in the back. Good shaping on it. Very cool. So that's kind of my American armor shelf. Then we go on to the Great War, World War I, which is another area for Brickmania I do like to collect though. It's not a whole lot more I'm gonna get, it's pretty full. So these are some of the names I will forget, I'm sorry. Back there, I believe that's an SE5A. I might have that wrong. That is probably my favorite design, next to the Sopwith Camel. The Drydecker, so triplane, famous from the Red Baron. There is two models of Albatross, an earlier and a later. So I believe the blue one is early, and the green one is a later model Albatross, bi-wing. Very large wingspan on these guys. Then we'll come down here. We have a Italian armored car with a New Zealand cavalryman, a early French tank with a 75mm gun in, a couple machine guns on the side, Italian gun, followed by a French 75, a British, I think, 18-pounder, and then an Italian light gun as well. The Politrov, a Russian armored car, which is based off of an American truck, basically put with a turret-based cannon in the back. Kind of a cool vehicle, had early one to use 3D printed wheels on it. Very nice design with that front print. And then I believe that's a Mark V heavy, male version with the two cannons on either side. This is a newer Ford model T ambulance used by the Italians. Very well built ambulance with this simulated suspension. Route tank, FT-17, I think, with a French soldier there. And then on this side we have Austro-Hungarian and German artillery and a Turkish gun truck or gun car with those two machine guns on it. And then in the back we have a bunch of soldiers from Italian, American Marines, known as Devil Dogs, Doughboys, French, Harlem Hellfighters, Italian, Russian. So very cool. So that is an overview of the World War II stuff, though I have a couple other things I'll show you here in a minute. Now we go on to Vietnam, which is definitely the biggest aspect of my collection and my favorite. So it takes up most of two shelves. So we're going to start with my favorite, perhaps my favorite vehicle in all, or favorite build in my entire collection, which is F-105D Thunder Chief, or Thud. As you can see, I never put the stickers on it. I probably should do that at some point. I built it right before we moved, and I just never wanted to put the stickers on it because I had it packed away, but it's just a menacing looking build. I believe Dylan said it's a lawn dart with wings, and that's essentially kind of what it is. It has an impressive payload with bombs mounted underneath, air-to-air. We'll see those larger ones are external fuel tanks. Very cool there. And then you'll see we have a mule with a recoilless rifle on it, as well as some figs, a couple 105mm cannon, just a more Marine Corps mutt with a machine gun. That's a AH-1C, I believe it's the C model, Apache, which is the Marine Corps gunship. As you can see, it has the M60s as well as the rocket pods. I think 47 Dragonfly. It's a Cessna build. And as you can see, it's another gunship. However, this one looks like it has a lot of ornament, but that guy, and that guy under each wing are actually external fuel tanks. It does have some rockets and bombs there. The cockpit can hold 2. This one, though, only was flown with 1. We have a Australian Land Rover, a military police mutt, a mutt with a 105, recoilless rifle on it. In the back is a gun truck that is kind of my own mock in the setup here. Just some different things I took from different designers and kind of built my own. I think it looks pretty cool. A standard UH-1D Huey. And you see that one has the machine gunners in the windows. That one I've pretty much set up with pilots, full assortment of crew and passengers. And then we have this guy, which is the earlier predecessor to the Little Bird. It's the Loach, which is a very cool. This was a George Hicks design. This is actually also one of my favorites in the collection because of all the printing you get, the sturdiness of the design, just the look of it. The minifigs is just excellent. M41 Walker Bulldog. This was an American tank that the South Vietnamese used, so it has South Vietnamese forces plus an American advisor. Patrol Craft Fast or Swift Boat. Pretty epic build here. Lots of printing, custom minifigs, stickers, brick arms, just a little bit of everything. Then we go on down to the next shelf. We have a bunch of infantry support down here. So we have 3 M113 APCs. The first, and arguably still one of the tops in my collection, is the Armored Cavalry M113, the first kit and set of minifigures I've ever bought from Brickmania. For those not familiar, this is 3 things combined into one. The base model is M113, followed by the aircraft accessory or add-on pack, and then followed by the aircraft crew pack. So you get 4 figs. One of them is that guy. Plus these 3, you get the stickers, the brick arms, the added instructions. Very cool. And they did 2 other ones, the VADs, and I added that kind of melting red hot Gatling gun on it, or minigun, and the command version. Now we have the M50A1, I think it's the M50A1 Ontos, which is used by the Marine Corps and had 6 recoilless rifles. It's for anti-tank or anti-material. The funny thing is, to get out to reload them, you have to stop, get out, reload all 6, and then keep going. Then we got 2 more gun trucks. These are Brick Designer printed parts and instructions, and then you source your own pieces. So I got Brutus and Snoopy. I had to get Brutus because of the Buckeyes and just because awesomeness right there. Next we have the Jolly Green Giant, a epic build by George Hicks with an amazing crew. Just wonderful camo pattern, just epic. In the back we have, I forget what these are called, Vietnam era US kind of anti-surface to air missile system. At some point they said they were going to do the full, which would have been like a truck and another like radar system, but they've never done it, and I don't expect them to. An early Kiowa, a early AH-1 Cobra gunship, the bulldozer, We Just Doze. And then we come down to another shelf. So we got 3 shelves now. And we have the Sky Raider, the AH-4. Then we go over here and we have some Vietnamese stuff. The MiG. I can't remember the number on it. MiG 21 PF Fishbed D. I think that is correct. Got the Saigon Taxi, little trolley. And then also another iconic scene here, Battle of Mogadishu, Operation Gothic Serpent. We have the Black Hawk. We have Thunderstruck, a Humvee from Task Force Ranger, and then a French United Nations armed personnel carrier. Whew, a lot of talking in this episode. And at the bottom, we have my Africa Corps with an Italian Carro Armato, a Tiger 131. And a lot of these came from a couple years ago when they did these mystery crates. Get you a nice close. I forget some of the models on these, so forgive me. Radio Truck, not Opel Blitz, Kubel Wagon. That one kind of doesn't belong, but that is a car with an anti-aircraft gun on the back. That's Opel Blitz that from the instruction manual, or from instructions, that I recolored. And then over here I have the Stewart, another Stewart, not a Jeep. It's the other famous or other popular Jeep submission or utility truck submission that's used. That one's part of the Lend-Lease Act, used by the British anti-tank gun. So that is that section. We'll kind of just make a turn here. As you can see, we have a bunch of planes. Note the shot ski on the bottom. I haven't hung that up yet. It was a wedding gift from a friend. But in the back, we have a Brick Veteran Hellcat, P-39 Air Cobra, Japanese Zero, American P-40 Warhawk in the Flying Tiger colors. Here we have a Hawker Hurricane, and then a Super Marine Spitfire that I had to put the wheels back on because apparently they fell off at some point. Whoopsies. However, the Spitfire, that's the Hurricane. That's the Spitfire. The Spitfire is one of my favorite aircraft of World War II. I just think it's absolutely epic. Hawker Typhoon with invasion stripes with an epic payload on it. ME-163 Comet, BF 109 as well. So that's kind of that. And the last little bit of Brickmania. Well, a couple more things Brickmania. These are some recent builds. A couple Sherman Firefly, Sherman M4A1, which also one of my favorite tanks like that. German half-track, Panzer IV, Ukraine benefit. Above that, we have some minifigs. These are display cases I got from the Container Store because these were relatively inexpensive. I have two more. And here you see some Korean War, Pacific War, modern, and some Ukrainian benefit. And then this little scene, little M1 Abrams tank with some troops in front. And the recent video I did on the Block Jets B-2 mini bomb, stealth bomber, and mini. So that's most of the Brickmania. Now we're going to go over the rest, which is a lot of Star Wars. Up top, you'll see all the Star Wars helmets, which I love and I'm continuing to collect. Very excited to see what they come out. And I don't buy every one. As you can see, I don't have the Death Trooper helmet because I really thought it was terrible. I'm not a completionist collector. I try to collect from things that I like and get the kits that I enjoy. Then I have some of the vintage series, Hasbro figures from some of my favorite characters, especially the Ahsokas, Darth Maul, 501st. Then back there I have Han and Luke from Hoth, the thermal detonator Coke bottle, some brickheads, more Star Wars. I really love these Star Wars vignettes that they've been doing. Just very epic. Great minifigs on some of these. And then I got the other two right there. And then I come down to my Clone Trooper burgers, my little Clone Trooper army. And then this is just kind of a holding spot until I get more minifig, or not minifig, X figure stands, some comics from the new Obi-Wan comic series. Eventually the ATT will go here, some other clone stuff. Mos Eisley Cantina, my second favorite Star Wars set, followed by that guy. That's my favorite. Epic build here. Some more action figures. That's a great set. I actually just built that recently. Pretty epic build there for the ambush on Ferrix. Speed Champs, the new 8 wads, I actually really like. As you can see, I have a good amount of the new ones that have come out. Again, not every one. There's a lot that I have not gotten. Just some CMF minifigures there. A little bit more than meets the eye. Optimus Prime. Definitely an epic build for this year. Display for my older Razor Crest, which I think will eventually be replaced by the new one, so I don't know what I'm going to do with that one yet. And of course the AT-AT, one of the most epic Star Wars sets. The most epic, probably, in my opinion, though. The Millennium Falcon and the Imperial Star Destroyer, definitely on par with it. And then the AT-ST. So we're going to come around the corner. Yes, there's a bathroom back there. Very nice to have. We have kind of my comic display area. You'll see I have Iron Man bust, Mjolnir, Thanos Starship, I think. I forget what the Lego set was called. Lego set that I bought on clearance. That's really terrible, but great minifigures. A bunch of Marvel minifigures include the Marvel CMF and others. For Black Panther, a Punisher action fig, a couple Batmobiles from Zack Snyder, and from the Batman, Ravager Thor. And then down the bottom are just some miscellaneous action figures. I have World War II Captain America on his Jeep, a couple G.I. Joes, and then some new figures I haven't really looked at yet from Action Force. Those seem pretty epic as well. And then over here I have some shelves kind of underneath. I have my main shelf area, and then on these bottom ones are like spillover. And as you can see, I have some Soviet vehicles there, a Marine Corps anti-aircraft gun. I got these guys here. These are from last February during Black History Month. Some more American artillery, including the Long Tom and the Beep, the 5-ton truck. Down here are some of my British and Canadian, including the Dingo, the Bren Carrier, Staghound, and SAS Jeep. And then 2 more biplanes. These are from the movie, a movie about boys who fly. Some camera stuff, a bunch of instruction manuals from Brickmania, more camera stuff, stepladder, and then this setup here. And this is for kind of larger scale mocks I plan to do. So we'll talk top. Top is more of a display. And up here, I have all my space stuff. And I recently added this shelf. I think it looks really epic. So on here, I've Redstone, Saturn V, Mockbuster, Apollo, Space Shuttle, Mars Rover, Ulysses, Space Probe. Think about getting the big Lego Saturn V and putting it behind. I think that would be pretty cool. And eventually getting some other stuff. This shelf, I really don't have a set plan yet. Right now I'm using it to display some Lord of the Rings stuff. So some action figures. He's not Lord of the Rings, that's Mythic Legions. So I have We the Top, Aragon and Brago, Theoden, Helm's Deep. Eventually that I think is going to be more city. I want to do some rearranging of these shelves at some point, because this is going to be my main cityscape. As you can see, Sanctum Sanctorum, the Brickmania kind of Landos, Randos sets that they've been doing with the Doomsayer pub, with the mop shop, with the gun shop in the back, which I like. This is going to be a city. Eventually, I might lower this shelf a few notches. Well, I'm going to lower this shelf a few notches, that one a few, and then that'll give me room for another tier of the city if I so wish. And then the third shelf is going to be my medieval shelf. That's where I have all my Black Falcons, well, some of them. Some of the Forceman sets I need to build. Some Brickmania stuff, some Roman stuff. Eventually, this is all going to be pretty cool. Long-term projects. I'm going to Mills plate this whole, all the city. And I may do the same with the medieval area. I just have not decided. So that's pretty much all the Lego. The last little display is my Star Wars action figure in a Rubio stand here, which is a lot of Star Wars Black Series. On the top, we have the new Black Series Darth Vader saber from Obi-Wan TV show. The Galaxy's Edge Ahsoka sabers there, just the hilts. The Artifacts Kotobukiya Clone Wars Season 7 Ahsoka and Captain Rex. I actually love those figures there, just how they look. A bunch of Black Series. You can kind of see we have the Bad Batch, clones, and Ahsoka, Mandalorians, bad guys from the Mandalorian, assassins, some Sith, and then another Artifacts Kotobukiya stand that is Din Djarin, kind of in a shoot from the hip position, with Grogu in the back that he's protecting. And the final thing over here with dehumidifier, I use that to help keep things clean and a little bit dust free down here. This guy's essentially a bar with some refreshments inside. And I'll do kind of one last tour. So it's pretty much set. I eventually want to replace these guys with some other type of display solutions, perhaps from IKEA, though there's not an IKEA close to us, so that's kind of difficult. Moving those shelves around there. I need to move eventually these shelves around here and maybe adjust something over here. Once I get everything kind of finalized is when I'll finish the lighting, I think. The other thing I eventually like to do is get a different table. The brown makes it definitely hard to work on, and I want something with casters so I can roll it, because right now I have to like pick it up or slide it to over here, which is kind of annoying. All right, that does it. That was a long-winded video. I'll try to cut it down. Definitely a long time coming for me. I hit 100 subscribers recently. I think I'm at 109, 110, which is awesome. You know, thank you guys for watching, guys and girls, everyone that wants to be involved. Please get in the comments. Tell me what you think. Tell me any ideas you have. Like, comment, and subscribe. Maybe this time next year we'll be at 500, maybe 1,000 subscribers, and we'll do this again. But this is been a lot of fun. This is great spaces where I just come down and I decompress. You know, maybe watch a movie, build a Lego set, and kind of just forget about just the stress of the world around us. You know, we live very complicated lives now. With social media, a lot of pressure, a lot of things we see on TV, things going on in the world. You don't know what to believe or what to think. So coming down here, just being around the Lego, building Lego, watching Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, whatever on TV. It's just a nice way to relax and get away. So otherwise, thanks for sticking around. Thanks for making the full video, and have a good day.